Chapter 23. So much for the plan. Jack, swing around to the front of the hospital. Let me at least get a clear shot on the cops on the ground, Michael called out from the tank. That's the way we're going, but I'm not stopping, Jack said. You're gonna have to shoot on the fly. Can someone please try to do something about the SWAT on the roof? Jeff asked with feigned politeness. Lindsay and I would really fucking appreciate it. Got you covered, Jeff. Jeremy scrambled from his spot at the side door to the ammunition crate, secured to the webbing in the rear of the cargo bob's hold. Ryan had propped himself up against the wall next to it. How you doing, Ryan? Jeremy asked as he rifled through the crate. Ryan coughed a laugh. The pain meds had definitely started to wear off. I'll live. Probably. As long as we don't die in a fiery explosion. That's the spirit, Jeremy grinned, retrieving the RPG, Ryan's RPG, and casually loading a grenade. You be careful with that, or I swear, Ryan started, but Jeremy either didn't hear him or flat out ignored him. I'd hold on to something if I were you, Ryan. Without questioning him, Ryan hooked an elbow through the webbing on the walls of the cargo bob's hold and braced himself. Jeremy did similarly on the opposite side of the hold, resting the RPG against his shoulder. It looked kind of awkward against Jeremy's frame. Jack, I need you to drop the loading ramp. I want to get a clear shot at the roof, Jeremy said over the comms. Jack yelled into the back for the sake of Trevor and Matt. All right, everyone, hold on to something. The rear cargo door dropped, and the air rushed through the fuselage, making it impossible to hear anything over the roaring wind. Ryan's hair whipped about his face as his eyes scanned the roof for Lindsay. He spotted her still crouched behind the low wall with the hostage. The SWAT team were closing in on them, and Jeff's helicopter was hovering close by, moving erratically to avoid being shot out of the air. Jeremy sank to one knee and took aim in the general direction of the SWAT team. They were too spread out for a single round to be effective against all of them, but he only needed to thin their ranks enough for Jeff to get Lindsay and get out. He fired and watched the round sail towards the rooftop, thanking whoever was listening that his aim was true, as it detonated just in front of the leading man and exploded into a fireball, sending chunks of loose gravel flying. Jeff seized the opportunity to land the helicopter, far less gracefully than he would have liked, and call out to Lindsay. She grabbed Sean's arm roughly, pulling him close to her. Stay close and stay behind me, she ordered. He was such a good hostage. As the smoke from the explosion began to clear, shots rang out and the ground around them was peppered with bullets. Sean lurched forward with a grunt, missing a step and falling into Lindsay, who grabbed his arm and urged him forward until they reached the cover of the chopper. She felt a pang of regret. They weren't going to be able to take him with them anymore. Sean was shot in the back. The round pierced his lung and lodged into his ribs. Sean, I'm so sorry, Lindsay said as she lowered him to the ground, shots still ringing out around them. She turned away before she could see the look of fear and pain on his face, leaving him bleeding on the roof as she climbed into Jeff's helicopter without looking back. Sean wouldn't make it off that roof alive, but she would never know that. Get us the fuck out of here, Jeff. Fucking way ahead of you. The ground below them seemed to be on fire as Michael fired on the ranks of officers gathered in front of the hospital, scattering them as they fled for cover and to get clear of the tank's range. Jeremy gave Jeff and Lindsay a wave as the loading door of the cargo bob closed. Nice shot, Lil J. Thanks, Jeff acknowledged. No problem, Jeff. Lindsay looked back towards the roof as they climbed higher. That was a shame about Sean, she mused as they followed the cargo bob at what they considered a safe distance from Michael's turret. What? Who? Jeff asked absently. Lindsay scowled at him. The hostage. The nurse. Sean. We could have used him. He seemed like a good kid. Having a nurse on staff would have been a good move, and he got on with the guys, too. Yeah, shame, Jeff reflected. I suppose now that Caleb and Caden have decided to pretty much move on, you've got some hiring to do. Only since you made it my job. Jeff smirked. How are you liking it, by the way? Boss lady? Ma'am. Lindsay hummed a little. Can't say you've been making it easy for me, considering it's still on the down low and I have all the responsibilities and none of the perks. Jeff grimaced. Maybe don't answer that just yet, then. Oh, by the way, we might need to consider getting someone else on. We've got an idea for how to prevent shit like this from happening in the future. Meanwhile, Michael was raining hell on the cops out in front of the hospital as they began their journey, as originally planned, to Mount Chiliad. Jack had been true to his word, though, and hadn't stopped to let Michael clear the area, causing the cops to scatter, police cruisers disseminating throughout the city trying to evade the tank's destruction while keeping them in their sights. Before long, the only thing Michael could get a clear shot at were the police helicopters following them, and even then, they were keeping their distance. Jeff radioed in from somewhere above them. "Oh my god, dude, there's like 1,000 fucking cop cars following you. We gotta shake some of this heat. Can you go another way?" "This tank is fucking heavy, Jeff," Jack replied. "I don't know if the Bob can take it long enough to go any way other than direct. Once we get outside the city, maybe if we can get low, Michael will be able to get a clear shot at some of them." "Worth a shot," Michael agreed. "I can try." "Alright then, do it. We'll watch out for trees and fucking power lines and shit. No rookie mistakes. And tell Matt and Traco to gear up and get ready. They're running interference." "On the upside," Gavin chimed in from out of the blue, "I'm getting some amazing angles of you, Michael." "Are you filming this, Gavin?" "Of course." Well, that explained why he was so quiet. Gavin always got really into filming. Jeff could see the situation unfolding. They had to get the cops scattered. There were too many to take out. If Matt and Trevor bail out over the highway, they should have a good head start. Jack conveyed the message, yelling into the rear of the cargo bob. "Trevor, Matt, shoot up." They grabbed the parachutes and strapped in as Jack explained. "If you guys bail out here, you can hijack a car from the highway. You should give you a clear run and a quick getaway. We've got a good lead time on the cops. You just need to keep them distracted. We'll stay low so Michael can help out." "Catch that, Michael?" Jeff added over the comms. "Got it. I won't shoot Matt and Trevor. Well, I won't try to shoot them." Jack raised an eyebrow. "I hope you mean you'll try not to shoot them." "Sure, whatever," Michael retorted. "It's a pretty important distinction, Michael. How about just shoot the cops?" "Yeah, that works too, I guess." Michael was just teasing now. Jack took the cargo bob down low. "Can you get a good shot from here?" The tank began firing before he could finish the sentence. "Guess so." "All right." Jack turned to yell into the back again. "Guys, I'm going to take us back up so you can jump from a safe height to pull your chutes. Then I'm going to come back down so Michael can keep the heat on the cops. You guys know what to do after that?" "Yeah, man," Matt said. "Can we take some of the C4? Jeremy started digging through the ammunition crate. "That's why it's here. There's a bag for it in here somewhere. Here." He produced a duffel bag and handed it to Matt, who promptly started filling it with explosives. Trevor explained, "We're going to steal a car. I'm driving. Matt's on crowd control." Matt grinned wide, holding up the bag. "Wild card." Jeremy laughed. As much as he loved working with the main crew, he still missed the crazy antics of the B-team. "Sounds fun. Stay safe and give 'em hell, guys." "Should be good to head back up, Jack," Michael radioed up. "There's a fucking huge gap between us and the cops now. They all fell back when I started shooting." "Thanks, Michael," Jack confirmed. "Guys, heading up now." When they reached what looked to be a safe distance, they jumped, waiting until the last minute to pull their chutes, and despite coming to a very tidy landing on the highway, they still managed to barely miss getting hit by a semi-trailer. Trevor was armed with an assault rifle, and Michael kept a close eye on them as they stopped an SUV, forcing out the driver and hopping in. They fishtailed around and started to weave their way through traffic, heading back to the relative safety of the streets of the city. Unfortunately, they weren't prepared for the sheer number of cops that had been following them. As they came up against the first wave of cruisers, one of their tires was shot out, and the car skidded violently to one side. Trevor did an amazing job of keeping it under control, but it was going to be damn near undrivable. "Trevor and Matt are in trouble. There are too many cops, and I can't get the right angle to get a clear shot." "Alright, I'm going to try to take us down lower, but this is tricky. Jack, don't worry, just drop me." "That's not part of the plan, Michael," Jack disagreed. "How are you going to catch up to us?" "Jack, I'm in a tank. I'm pretty much as safe as it gets. I'll figure something out. Just drop me." "Are you serious?" Jack mulled it over for a moment before relenting with a deep breath. "Fuck. Okay, good luck, Michael." The tank hit the ground from a good height, bounced a little, and Michael immediately started firing on the cops, giving Trevor and Matt enough time to hijack another car, this time more appropriate, sporty-looking Fjord GT in bright fucking orange. Good for the getaway, not so good for blending in, pretty much perfect for a distraction, though. The pair made it off the highway with just under a dozen police vehicles in pursuit, while Michael held back the rest and continued up the highway, following the cargo bob towards Mount Chiliad. Now that the tank wasn't holding them back, the Cargobob could move faster, but they also no longer had the protection of Michael's mortars to use against the police helicopters, which had grown bolder and caught up to them. Ryan repositioned himself in the hold, half dragging himself over to the right side door and propping himself up against the wall, looping one arm through the webbing so as not to fall out. Jeremy, I need a gun. Jeremy retrieved an assault rifle and handed it over tentatively. You sure? Yeah, pretty sure. Ryan offered him a toothy grin that verged on dangerous. Jack, if you swing us around a bit, I can get a shot on the chopper to the right, he yelled into the front compartment. Are you sure, Ryan? Jack yelled back. Why does everyone keep asking that? Yes, I wouldn't be asking otherwise. Jesus fucking... Ryan trailed off, rolling his eyes. Jack complied, and Ryan started shooting at the other chopper's gunner, Jeremy quickly joining him to try to take out the pilot. Ryan suddenly noticed something. Gavin, why aren't you shooting? I am! He was holding up the camera. For fuck's sake, why aren't you shooting a gun? Gavin, take out the pilot. Oh yeah! He swapped the camera for a rifle and fired off a few shots at the pilot, just as Jeremy took him out. Lindsay had been watching Trevor and Matt zipping through the city. Michael had drawn most of the attention from the cops, but they still had a lot of heat on them. She had to help. Hey, do me a favor and don't fucking crash this thing, okay? Actually, that's an order. Don't crash, Jeff. Why would I? Jeff looked over to see her hurriedly putting on the only parachute in the helicopter. Bye, Jeff. She flashed him a smile before she jumped. God damn it. You know, I can't help but think this getaway would have been a hell of a lot easier if it wasn't in broad fucking daylight, Michael ranted as he rolled along in the tank, casually annihilating police vehicles and obstacles around him. Excuse me, coming through. Didn't really have much of a choice in that, Michael. Sorry, Jeff replied casually. Blame Ryan. Ryan, this is all your... Oh, he can't hear me. Michael remembered Ryan didn't have a communicator. Lil J, tell Ryan he sucks for me. Michael could hear Jeremy say, Ryan, you suck. Love, Michael. There was a roar of laughter from the crew, and suddenly a deafening whooshing noise cracked above them, moving quickly, effectively scaring the shit out of everyone. Jesus Christ! Jeff nearly leapt out of his skin. What the fuck is that? Are those fucking jets? Two military jets zoomed past them overhead, peeling away from each other and looping back around to engage them. Jeff's eyes were locked onto them as he maneuvered the helicopter into a descent toward Mount Chiliad in an attempt to deter them from following. Jack's voice was in his ear over the radio. Jeff, what do we do? Fuck. Improvise.